Professor Stephen Caliendo, PhD, from North Central College in Naperville, Illinois. I'm so happy you're here. How you doing?
Mark, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for reaching out, and thanks for the invitation. It's so good to be with you.
Off the air,
You're doing
we'll
great
talk
work.
more.
You're doing
Off
great
the air,
work.
we'll
You're
talk
doing
more
great
about we talk more about Pittsburgh off the air. So I brought you here
work.
to ask you the question: why do so many Americans stay home and don't vote?
I'm going to take you back to 1957. This book, An Economic Theory of Democracy. This is Anthony Downs. Um, Anthony Downs is from the Chicago area, Park Ridge. In fact, I think he grew up, but he went off and did a PhD at Stanford in economics. He's not a political scientist, in economics. That book was very influential in terms of how political scientists started to understand how people vote. In other words, for whom they vote. But part of this book, a smaller part of it, is about why people vote at all. So he takes the economics, the way economists think about it, is rational choice. What is it in my interest to do so? And so to do that, of course, you think, what are the costs versus the benefits? The costs of voting are great, not in terms of money necessarily, but time. You got to learn a lot. Like, think about the ballot we just had in Illinois and how many elections were on it, how many candidates were on it. You got to know something about all those candidates, where they stand on issues, a little bit about their background, but you also got to know where you stand so you can have some comparison points about who closely matches you. If you do that in a meaningful way, it's going to take you a long time. So what's the benefit of voting? From an economic perspective, the benefit is my vote will change the outcome of this election. In other words, if I don't vote, the person I don't want to win may end up winning. If I do vote, the person I want to win will end up winning. The truth is that almost never happens. It almost never is the case that your one vote by yourself is going to determine the outcome of an election. And so from a rational perspective, it's completely irrational to vote. So now you may be thinking, Mark, why does anybody vote at all? By those standards, nobody should ever cast a vote. And what Downs comes to, and what political scientists have said since, is what outweighs that idea that maybe our one vote will change the election is a sense of civic duty. In other words, it's a responsibility that I vote. People have died for it, fought for it, struggled for it, etc. I have a responsibility being a member of a democracy. Nonetheless, a rational person will say, if I don't go this time, democracy is not going to collapse. And they're probably right from their one person's perspective. But when we see, this is getting at your question, year after year, low voter turnouts, you start to wonder the degree to which democracy can maintain. Certainly the framers expected that we'd be educated and that we'd be active. And I think your question gets to the heart of the fact that we haven't.
I remember the good old days where you just had to vote 10 for the Democratic Party. That's when it was easy. Vote 10. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. So party comes in, right? Party allows us, it's what psychologists call a heuristic. It's an intellectual shortcut, right? If I do all the work and figure out where all the candidates are and where I am, that's a lot of work. But if I know I'm a Democrat, I know they're a Democrat, I know generally what Democrats do or Republicans do, that's a safe way to do it. My grandfather used to joke, back in Pennsylvania, we had the voting machines that were mechanical, and you would click just the one lever for Democrat or Republican and then pull the ballot open. And he would say it sounded like a slot machine because it would just fill in all the ballots for you. But we've gone away from that single party voting sort of thing. So you got to fill out, if you're a Republican, you got to fill out every Republican bubble to vote straight ticket.
I remember the old machines when I was a kid, but my parents voted that way, and people back in the day. But when I got a chance to vote, I think 1980, the machines were gone, the curtain was gone, the lever was gone. Things changed. But I vote by mail. And I think our president, the current president, Trump, he votes by mail. And
He
so
did
it's
this
here in
week.
Illinois, of course, it makes here in Illinois, we make it so easy to vote, and people stay at home. And I'm the kind of person, I don't care if you vote for Deputy Dog or Mickey Mouse. Go ahead and vote. It's really easy. Vote by mail is the way to go. I swear by it. If they ever make me come back to the voting booth, I don't know what I'm going to do. Give me some suggestions. Anybody else?
Well, I'll tell you, I miss the I vote by mail as well, and I'll tell you why. It's the ease of it for sure, but it's also, I like to have the ballot. ahead of time and think of it. And you can find a ballot, but it's, you can go online, do some research, but I'd like to have it on my table for a couple of days, maybe research some of the races I'm not as comfortable with. It gives me some time to think, and I feel like I'm casting a more informed vote rather than standing there knowing I got to get this done because I got to go home and make meatloaf for whatever it is, right? So I like that. What I miss, though, and I don't know if you agree with this, the one part I miss is the community around voting, the standing in line, being with your neighbors at your precinct voting site. You don't miss it at all.
No, I don't miss it at all. I know what you mean. I don't miss it at all.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, I get you. I mean, I wouldn't trade it, but I'm saying that's the part I think that we don't have as much. But that changed when we went to early voting. That didn't change with mail-in. That changed when the people now you're waiting in line with aren't necessarily in your neighborhood. You're voting, countywide or whatever. You can go to any vote. So that's different. It's when it was in the elementary school cafeteria and you saw everybody and you could have conversations. But that was declining anyway. I mean, we have seen, as low as voter turnout is, we have seen some upsurge at certain points as a result of removing some of the barriers to voting, same-day registration, being able to vote by mail, early voting, etc. So it's a net gain, and I agree with you. People should vote.
I vote because my parents voted, so encouraged to vote. I have grown children. I encourage them to vote. It's like social norm. I know voting, there is no FOMO in voting or political science. People don't have a fear of missing out by not voting,
They do.
but I think they should vote because they're asking basically your opinion. Everybody's got an opinion, but I'm a part of it. I'm a part of the country, and I think you should vote. I like even voting against people. I know they're going to win. Here's a person I know they're going to win. The person on the ballot, I don't know if they're a stalking horse, whoever they are. I enjoy voting for that person just to let the incumbent or anybody else know that, hey, we're listening. We're out here. You could be
Exactly.
dethroned
Don't take
next
it for
election.
granted.
Don't take it for granted. So let's end a little show about encourage people, and especially the midterms like we just had here in Illinois, people to encourage them to vote in every election.
Absolutely, and I will do that. And I will say, because we've made it so much easier, there really is no excuse. It was difficult for people who live far away to get before the polls open. The polls open at a certain time, they close at a certain time. You have responsibilities. Some people work multiple jobs. All of that has been reduced in most places now. And so there really is no excuse not to vote. And I would say that the other benefit of voting, besides doing your civic duty, is it does engage you. Uh, there were times I can tell you when I would go to the voting booth and vote, and then when we get to the judges' elections, I didn't really know those folks, so I might just let those go. Well, now I have a little more time. Now I can actually engage. It doesn't take a lot. It doesn't outweigh what my sense of civic duty is, which is the reason why I still do it. But it makes me feel like I'm a part of my community, and I think that's an important thing for people to. There's other ways to do it. Voting's not the only thing you should do, but I think you and I agree that it's the minimum. It's the first step. It's the first thing you should do. Certainly, if somebody's going to organize their entire neighborhood, do boycotts and protests, and spend all that energy, and then don't vote, that's probably a person who's a good civic member. But voting's the easiest thing you could do, the lowest cost thing that you could do, and so I definitely encourage everyone to do it.
Professor, thank you.
It's so good to see you, Mark. Thank you so much for having me on.